Hi friends, what day is it? Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday. We're starting out a new skill and I'm really excited about it. I think you guys are going to do great with it. But it is a little trickier. It's area, but you're finding the area of an entire shape. Instead of like just one side of the shape, you're going to find the area of the whole shape. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So it's called finding the surface area of a shape. And surface area comes from if we were to take that shape and break it down into a net, finding the surface area of the net basically just means that you're finding the area of each side of the shape and then adding it all together to find a total area of the whole shape, or also known as surface area. So your learning target today is I can find the surface area of the given shape or net. So surface area of a rectangular prism. This example shows you guys that you are going to find the area of each face of the shape or the net. So to do that, the big part that you guys need to remember is that you are always going to have partners. So you're going to have top and bottom, you're going to have front and back, and then you're going to have, I call it left and right, so the sides. And what you'll notice about this net that they have here on the page is that they have the top and bottom the same color, they have the front and back the same color, and then they have the left and right the same color. So when we look at it, it makes it a little bit easier for us to know what the partners are. So when you're finding the area, let's say of the top and bottom, what I see is that the top and bottom have an area, it's a 6x4. So it's 6 wide and 4 tall. So what they did was they showed us that the top and bottom, or just for the top, would have an area of 6x4. And the bottom would also have an area of 6x4. So basically you're doubling whatever your area is times 2. So I would have 6 times 4 and 6 times 4. They would each equal 24. I'm running out of space there on the side. Sorry, guys. So our top and bottom would each have an area of 24. So then when I look at the front and the back, I notice that the front has a height of 2 and it has that same width of 6. So that, again, for the front and back, so FB, I just label FB. I shorten them. You can do the whole thing if you'd like. So the front would be a 2x6 and the bottom would be a 2x6. And when I do that multiplication, I get 12 for each of those. And then for the left and right, I notice that they are 4 tall, just like my sides, and then they are 2 wide, so they're a 2x4. So left and right would be 2x4 each, so that would be 8 and 8. So at the end of it, when you find all the areas of each side, you should have 6 total numbers that you're going to add together, which they show you here. So they show you 24 plus 24 plus 12 plus 12 plus 8 plus 8, and when you add that all up, you would get an answer of 88. So your surface area would be 88, and these are in centimeters, so it'd be 88 centimeters squared. And it's squared because you're still just finding area. You're not finding volume where we would cube it or put it to the third power. You're just squaring it because you're finding area. So let's one together. So this this image shows you both the rectangular prism and then it shows you the net of the prism. And you can use either one to solve. Personally, I like looking at just the shape itself instead of the net, but if the net makes more sense to you, focus on that net. So my very first step is to write down TB for top bottom, and then I'm going to do FB for front back, and then I'm going to do LR for the left and right side. Okay? So first, I'm going to look at the top and the bottom. And when I look at the top and the bottom of this figure, that top would be here, and then the gray would be the bottom. So when I look at those, I see that it is 3 wide by 2 long. So my top and bottom have an area of 3 by 2. Okay? So then the next thing I'm going to look at is the front and the back. So the front is going to be this, and the back will be that part in the back that mirrors it. It will be right behind it. The part in the back, you guys, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So the front still has a width of 3, but now I'm looking at the height is 6. So the front and the back each have a 3 by 6 measure or area. So then when I look at the left and right, I hope you guys can tell my shading. My left and right are this side and then this side over here. So when I look at those measurements, I see 2 by 6 tall. So my left and right would be 2 by 6. Okay, so go back. Now we're going to look at this. So your top and bottom was a 3 by 2. So your top has a value of 6 and your bottom has a value of 6, or an area of 6, excuse me. The front and back had an area of 3 by 6, so the front would have a total area of 18, and the back would have a total area of 18. And then your left and right side had an area of 2 by 6, so the left would have an area of 12, and the right would also have an area of 12. So what I do from here is I have these 6 numbers. I have 6 plus 6 plus 18 plus 18 plus 12 plus 12. You can do this and solve this in any way that you'd like. If you want to use a calculator, I don't really care, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not finding out if you know how to add. So what you could do is, what I personally do is I just find, okay, well, I know 6 and 6 for top and bottom is 12. And then I know that the 18 and 18 for the front and back together is 36. So I would do plus 36. And then the left and right 12 and 12 is 24. So then I take that 36 plus 24 plus 12, and I would add them all up. Well, I know 12 and, 24 is 36. So then that leaves me with 36 and 36, and I know that those two together would be 72, and it would be 72 centimeters squared. Okay? So this one is also a rectangular prism. It shows you the net. So in this case, I'm going to start off again by writing TB for top bottom, FB for front back, and then LR for left right. So first, let's identify the top and the bottom. So the top is here, the bottom is here. When I look at those measures, I see 5 by 3. So the top and the bottom have an area of 5 by 3. Okay, then I'm going to look at the front and the back. I'm going to call this the front and this the back. So when I notice the front has an area of, or a measure of 3 and a height of 4, so my front and back would be a 3 by 4 area. And then last would be left and right. So left would be on this side, and then right would be that other side. And when I look at their measurements, I see 5 by 4 tall. Okay, so again, I need to do that math. So the top and bottom had an area of 5 by 3 each, which just means that I have 15 and 15 for both the top and the bottom. The front and the back had an area of 3 by 4, which tells me that the front has a value of 12 and the back has an area of 12. And then the left and right side both had an area of 5 by 4, so that means that the left is worth 20 and the right is worth 20. So then I just need to add them all up. And if you don't have paper with you right now, go get some. There's no way you can keep track of all of this in your head. You should be writing this down. Whiteboard or pencil or pen or whatever. Yes, I just said you could use a pen in math. I know that's like one of my biggest rules, but today I'll allow it. So then we add up. So 15 and 15 is 30. 12 and 12 is 24. 20 and 20 is 40. So 30 and 40 is 70. Plus 20 would be 90. Plus that 4 would be 94 centimeters squared. Okay, one more without the net view. So this one is top and bottom, front and back, left and right. Okay, so my top, I don't see the bottom like in my other figures, but I know they're the same because it's a rectangular prism. So the top in this one, I notice, is 8 by 4. So the top and bottom both have a measure of, or an area of 8 by 4. Then I'm going to look at the front and the back. So I'm going to call this the front, which is 8 wide by 5 tall. So 8 by 5. Last thing I need to look at would be, sorry, I'm trying to change my colors so you guys can see what I'm doing here, would be the left and the right. So that would be this side and the other side that I can't really see with the image. And that is showing that it is 4 wide. And then because this 8 doesn't have any merit, that means that I'm focusing on that it's 5 tall. Okay, so now I have all my measurements for the top, bottom, front, back, left, right. So top and bottom was 8 by 4 each, which tells me 32 area for the top, 32 area for bottom. Front and back were 8 by 5, which I know 8 times 5 is 40, so the front is worth 40, the back is worth 40. Left and right was a 4 by 5, so 4 times 5 is 20, so the left had an area of 20, and the right had the area of 20. So now I just need to add. And when I look at this, I'm going to kind of go in a different route this time. 40 and 40 is 80, plus 20 would give me 100, so I'm at 100. And then I know 32 and 32 is 64, and if I add 20 to 64, that gives me 84. So I have 84 plus 100 gives me 184, and it is feet squared. So, homework tonight, it's just one question on finding surface area. Remember, first write down TB, top, bottom, FB, front, back, LR, left, right, and then just break it down slowly and think about what the measurements are that you're going to use. Answer the question to the best of your ability. If you have any questions, let me know. But we are going to continue to work on this over the next couple of days. So, if you have questions, reach out. Otherwise, rock it. I know you can. Have paper, pencil, whiteboard marker, whatever you're using to show your work and solve through this next to you. You'll do great. Talk to you soon, guys.